Welcome to the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving, goal-oriented rebel women come to learn how to live a vibrant and fulfilling life without requiring alcohol to get through it. No labels, no judgments, no saying you'll never drink again. Just real proven methods to help you stop rebelling against yourself with alcohol so you can drink less and do more. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik. Let's dig in. Welcome to episode 92, a live class called How to Feel. Hello, hello, hello. How are y'all? Things are going amazing over here. I am truly enjoying fall. My husband and I just did a 11 plus mile hike event up in the mountains in North Carolina. It was called Reach the Peaks. And it was super fun. My husband doesn't really do a lot of these physical activities with me, and I talked him into doing this one. And we had such a good time. It took us a little over 5 hours to hike this event, which is like it's like a race. And in the past, it's been like everybody starts at the same time and on the same day. But this year, they did it around COVID, so they spread the race out over 3 days. You could do it on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and you didn't have to start at the same time. You could start anytime between like this 3-hour window in the morning. So my husband and I did it on Saturday, and it was awesome. We hiked. It was beautiful weather, perfect hiking weather, and then we camped in the mountains with his parents and the kids afterwards and just had an amazing time. So I am just loving the season and the fall and the change of season. And it's giving me things to look forward to, such as jeans and sweaters and Halloween and pumpkins and all the amazing things. So I wanted to share with you guys a live workshop that I did called How to Feel recently, and thought that you guys would enjoy having this on the podcast. And to let you know that I am currently enrolling in my 5-week workshop called Feel Better Now. And I'm going to tell you about the workshop at the end of the podcast today, and you'll hear a little bit about it during the How to Feel webinar that you'll be listening to. But basically, if you've been wanting to get coached by me or join my coaching program, I've developed a short and sweet and affordable 5-week program called Feel Better Now, where I teach you the core principles of what it takes to make any sort of change in our lives. And feelings drive all of our actions. So if you're somebody that is over drinking or overeating or not doing the things that you actually want to do, the first step is learning how to feel and understand your feelings that drive those behaviors. And that's exactly what we're doing in the Feel Better Now workshop. It's 5 weeks of live coaching calls with me, and then you also get a self-guided course. So every week of the 5 weeks, you get a workbook and some videos from me that will help you apply what I'm teaching. I also reference the podcast. There's a little podcast episode guide that accompanies the course program with questions to answer, where you actually apply what I'm teaching you. It's all very organized and easy to follow, and it's not a big time commitment. It's about a 15 to 20 minute time commitment per day over the 5 weeks, and an hour-long coaching call with me. So I highly encourage you to check out the 5-week program. If you've been on the fence, if you have been worried about a bigger, longer term investment, I think this is a great place to start for you to get some life coaching experience and to work with me and to feel better. Right now, we're all suffering a little bit with the election and COVID and kids back in school. And we're just sort of at the crux of being deep into this pandemic as well, and we're feeling it. So this workshop is going to help you feel better no matter what is going on in the world, and it's going to help you feel empowered that no matter what happens in your life, you have the tools to handle it. So listen to this class all the way through, and then I'm going to hook up you at the end of it with links to check out the Feel Better Now course. There's a website that you can link directly to here with all the details of the program. But registration is closing this weekend. So if you're listening to this podcast later, after the last week in September, the program won't be open for enrollment. But if you are listening to it in real time as it's launched, click the link below, sign up for the program, and then you'll get immediate access to some bonus materials, a workbook, and a guided audio of me helping you process and feel your feelings. And then you will be in, and you'll get an email with all of the details, the live coaching call links, and what to expect. So I hope to see you guys in there. And don't wait. This is the time. There's never been a better time in history to have a life coach on hand as where we are right now. So I love you all. Enjoy the class, and we'll talk to you soon. Welcome to How to Feel. I'm Angela Mascenik, and I'm your host for today's class. I would expect this to go about an hour, and we're going to have some fun. I'm going to help you feel better, give you some tools that you can take with you and apply to your life right away today to take some of the edge off that we might be feeling right now, and to generate some of the feelings that we want to feel, like happiness and joy and love and excitement and motivation, right? I feel like so many of us are wishing that we were feeling that way because things have been sort of piling on top of each other in our lives, especially here in the US. So I'm a certified life coach. I'm going to give you a little teeny tiny background about me, but I feel like most of you know me or familiar with my background, so I'm not going to spend too much time here. But I have a podcast. It's called Stop Over Drinking and Start Living. I produce a weekly show to mostly help women stop over drinking and to learn how to gain control of their relationship with alcohol and understand why they're drinking in the first place. And it's an amazing show. If you guys haven't checked that out, I highly recommend that you do. My main focus in my business is helping women stop over drinking. So I have a coaching programs that help women do that. I developed this class today and another program that I'm going to tell you about at the end of the class called Feel Better Now, because of everything that I'm hearing from everybody. Like, we're just feeling it. We're in the middle of a very heated election in the US. There's wildfires in California. We're 6-7 months into the pandemic. Our kids are being homeschooled, changes in our work, change in our jobs. People are getting sick. Like, it's a lot. And so I developed this class today to specifically address sort of like the feelings that we're having right now collectively as a society. And I teach a lot about feelings inside my coaching programs. My foundation in helping anybody do anything that they want to do, whether it's stop over drinking, losing weight, making more money, improving their relationships, fighting racism, getting people to the polls, whatever it is that you want to focus on, understanding your feelings is the most critical thing you can do, because our feelings drive what we do, whether that's eating, drinking, avoiding, yelling, posting on Facebook, exercising, going to work every day. Our feelings drive all of those actions. So it's so important to recognize our feelings and to understand them so that you can be the most effective in whatever you want to do, whatever your goals are, whatever you hope to accomplish. All right. So shut down Facebook, turn your phones over, grab a notebook and pen, and really focus in on the next hour here. I'm going to be sharing some amazing information that when I learned this stuff, it changed my life. Whether you decide to work with me in the future or whatever, you will leave this class with some skills that you will have forever if you choose to apply them, and it's going to help you feel better. So I believe that learning how to feel, again, is the secret to achieving whatever you want. Like, I truly believe that. And I don't want you guys to dismiss the power of our feelings. We have not been taught as a society about feelings. We're just like, oh, the goal is to feel happy, or I just want to feel happy, or, you know, I don't want to feel this way, right? Like, we're not really taught about feelings and emotions, and it's a miss. Like, I feel like we missed that. That should be taught right alongside English and math in school, because how important they are, because they drive everything that we want to do. So learning how to feel is the secret to achieving whatever you want to do in your life. So I want to check in with you guys. So I want to understand how you're feeling. I feel like I know a lot because you guys have been very vocal and active in social media and emailing me and whatnot, but I want to know where you are right now. So tell me how you are feeling in general. And also, when you're doing that, I want you to tell me what you do when you feel this way. So like, if you're feeling flat or down or pissed off or frustrated or bored, what is it that you do when you feel this way? I want you to type that in the Q&A so I make sure that I address it today in the class. So I've been feeling just like a little bit flat, like a little bit like a heavy blanket, like just some heaviness going on. And I feel like it's, a compounded effect of all of the things that are happening. And what I'm going to teach you guys in the class today is to sort of like dissect it and understand those feelings and why they're happening. But just know like it's normal that you're feeling this way. I just want to make sure I address your specific issues. But for me, it's been just like this sort of like heavy blanket, weighted blanket, downtrodden feeling. Mary says fearful. Dawn says not too bad. Irene says when I feel overwhelmed, I avoid the news. Stacy says frustrated, overwhelmed. I've been eating and drinking and I feel uncomfortable in my clothes. Yeah. Anonymous says I feel overwhelmed. Raquel says I feel disconnected from others and flat and I isolate. Jessica says overwhelmed, heavy. I crave junk food and alcohol as a result and I want to numb out. Yep. Jennifer says, hopeful. I've been applying some of your strategies to dissect how I'm feeling based on my own thoughts, particularly when the thought that beer would be great right now pops out of nowhere. Good, Jennifer. Yeah, dissecting those feelings is really important. Mel says, I drink when I'm bored, a lot of boredom and dissatisfaction. Tiffany says, feeling heavy. Kelly says, you're amazing. I felt numb. You told me I needed to feel, and I realized I realized I want to feel, and it's made a difference in 2 days. That's amazing, Kelly. Yeah, often, thank you for sharing that. Oftentimes it's like we don't want to feel like before we even give ourselves an opportunity to feel, we've just kind of been programmed as a society to think that feeling some negative emotions is a bad thing. Like we shouldn't want to do that or we're scared to do it. But like I think once you allow yourself to do it, you realize that it's not a big deal. Like you can handle this. It's nothing more than a vibration in our body. But we've been taught not by like teachers or like, but it's just like the way society talks about feelings and our culture that we don't want to feel that, right? Like it's a problem if we feel anxiety or sadness or grief or boredness, right? So we have been avoiding those feelings. We're like, no, I don't want to feel that. Right? And then we go buffer, we go eat or go drink. But like if we actually just let ourselves allow and feel, like we recognize that it's nothing we can't handle. Christian says, I feel exactly the same way. Flat, heavy, wet blanket, down, cannot see to get out of my funk. Allison says, right now I'm feeling disappointed, feel sick in my stomach. Just had the same old fight with my husband about work. Normally I would buffer with food and alcohol. Right now I'm just sitting with it and taking the time to do something good for me by taking this hour. Good. I'm glad you're here, Allison. Sharon says, not ready for happen if COVID-19 gets worse. I do not watch the news anymore. I'm a mess, lots of heaviness all over my body, one problem after another, no sleeping. Patty says, feeling confused, lots of hope, self-sabotage. Elizabeth says, I feel sad, heavy, angry, heavy heart due to my mom passing 3 months ago due to COVID. I still can't understand. Yes. Katie says, I honestly feel very content overall. I got married a year ago and moved farther away from my best friends. I miss them, but it does not depress me. I don't really even feel overwhelmed, but I overdrink wine and I think it's just a habit. I crave it at night when I get home from work for no real reason. So I drink it. I don't know. And if I didn't, I know I would weigh about 10 pounds less. Yeah. So Katie, what you want to do is you just want to like don't drink for a night and uncover what you're feeling. Sometimes we don't even know because we're automatically in that process of doing something, but your feelings are driving that action of drinking. So you just got to pause long enough to uncover what that feeling is. It could just be boredom or like dissatisfaction, or you might be missing your friends, or you might have had a stressful day at work. We don't know until we give ourselves a little bit of a pause there to uncover what that feeling is that you're not wanting to feel. That's good. All right, you guys. So for all of you guys that have shared that you have lost somebody due to COVID, I'm so sorry. And I know what that feels like, right? It's one of my really close friends' husbands just died 2 days ago. And another one of my really good friend's sister died last week. And we're being impacted by a lot of this, right? And just know that you're supposed to be feeling this right now. Nothing has gone wrong. You're supposed to feel sad when somebody dies, right? So we want to choose to feel that on purpose. We actually want to be with those feelings. When we fight it, when we resist it, like this sucks, I don't want to feel it, that's what makes it painful. That's what causes problems down the line. That's what takes us longer to get out of those feelings when we push it away and resist it or buffer with it, distract ourselves from it. That's when it makes it much more of a bigger problem. Kathy says, I've learned that I cannot control what my husband does with his health. I feel helpless waiting for him to die because he won't take care of himself. He is totally a non-drinker and his only vice is food. Mine is wine, easier to zone out than fight with him about eating his third helping. Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm glad you guys are all here. So I hope you all know, like I don't know how many people are on this call, 60, 100, I'm not sure. But y'all are in the same situation, right? We're all feeling it. Some of you aren't feeling like the downward, like deep, heavy emotions, but you're here to understand why you're doing what you're doing. Maybe you're drinking too much. You don't want to. Maybe you're snacking. Maybe you're buffering. Maybe you're scrolling too much on Facebook and you notice you're not really doing some things that you'd actually like to be do. We're all here. You're all in the right place. So my intentions for today's call is for you to understand your own feelings and why you do what you're doing right now. And then I'm going to teach you how to process and feel your feelings. And then at the very end of the class, I'm going to invite you in to work with me for a 5-week program called Feel Better Now. And for those people that stay on for the whole call, there's going to be some amazing quick action bonuses that you can get if you decide to work with me. If not, you're going to take the skills and you're going to run with it. And I promise you're going to feel better no matter what. Okay, so stick around all the way to the end. We should be done about 11 Eastern time and get on with our weekend. All right, so the first part of this is that we have enhanced feelings during hard times. Okay, so we have a lot of different circumstances going on in our lives right now. We have the pandemic. In California, the west coast of the US, that's on fire. Our kids haven't gone to school, or maybe they're gone to school and then been sent home from college, or our jobs have changed and now we're working from home, or maybe we're going into work, maybe we're a necessary employee and we're going into work, but things are changing, right? The election, we're hearing everything about Black lives and we're seeing death on video, and like we get all of this compounded things that are going on right now at the same time. And so what's happening is we have a lot of different thoughts that are going on about all of these different things in the world, and then we have so many feelings right now. We don't even know like what to do with it, right? We're just like this. Most people just know that they don't feel good. Like that's how they recognize it. Okay, they're just like, I don't feel right, not feeling motivated, feel kind of flat, pissed off, and they notice they might not be doing the things. Maybe you're not exercising as much. Maybe you're pouring that glass of wine at 4 o'clock and you don't normally do that. Or maybe you're like in the cabinet eating the bag of chips, right? And like you're just kind of noticing you're not doing some of the things that you normally do and you're not feeling good, okay? So what I want to kind of bring it back to is what feelings are here in the very beginning. Feelings are nothing more than vibrations in our body, okay? And feelings, like I told you guys earlier, exist to put us into action to go do something, all right? And feelings are generated by our thoughts. So we have to have a sentence in our brain to activate or to generate a feeling. So a lot of the current feelings that you guys are sharing right now is that confusion, denial, powerlessness, dread, frustration, resentment. Those are all feelings that drive actions like complaining, judging, sharing negative stories with other people or just in our heads, over drinking, overeating, scrolling on Facebook a lot, watching a lot of Netflix, avoiding people, avoiding doing work, avoiding exercise, like all that kind of stuff. Over shopping, maybe some people are spending a lot of time on Amazon, hiding, and just like not doing the things that you want to be doing. Those kind of feelings drive those actions. Sometimes those feelings just drive inaction. We're just not doing anything. So what I want to talk to you guys now about outside circumstances and understanding how they can't cause your feelings. So husbands, pandemics, wildfires, death, all of that stuff can't cause your feelings. And I know you might want to hang up on me, but just stay with me, okay? Because this is so important. I really want you guys to hear me on this. So come back to me if you're not, all right? When you give your emotional well-being away to those things that I mentioned, like they made me feel that way. I saw this Facebook post and I got pissed off, okay? That is giving your power away to other people. You think, like unconsciously, that if they didn't post that, or they didn't say that, or they didn't do that, or if there wasn't a pandemic, that you wouldn't feel what you're feeling, okay? So basically you're saying unconsciously that they need to not do that, or there doesn't need to be a pandemic, or the pandemic needs to end for me to feel better.
And that sucks because then you're waiting for something else outside of you to change. And so we're just like walking around feeling miserable about things, right? And we're waiting and we're missing and we're doing things in our lives that kind of hurt us, right? So when we're not showing up and doing how we want to live and taking the actions that we want to take, we might overdrink, we might be overeating, that's affecting our lives, right? It has nothing to do with what's going on outside of the world. So that has an impact on us and how we show up in our lives. This is called self-abdicating. It's giving your power away to something outside of you. Okay? So if you think the pandemic needs to be over, the election outcome to be in your favor, kids need to go back to school, the spouses to say the right thing or to do the right thing at the right time, coworkers have to do everything right, bosses to acknowledge your work to feel good, right? That is self-abdicating. And I just want you guys to kind of recognize if you've done that. How many times have you thought, like if you're here and you're married, that your spouse should take out the garbage without being asked? Raising hands, right? Like, and then if they don't see that, it's like, why do I have to be the only one that takes out the garbage? Why do I have, nobody tells me to take out the garbage. Why do I have to be the one that has to do it? Why do I have to tell, you know what I mean? Like that is me. And I used to do this all the time. Can you tell? That's me saying you have to do something in order for me to feel good. And that is where we lose all of our power, right? Because people are going to do what they're going to do on their own time, just like we do what we do on our own time, right? So you don't want to do that anymore. This is like the first layer of this. Like stop making other people and things change for you to feel better. Your thoughts about what they're doing or not doing or the pandemic or whatever has happened is causing your feelings. So just take ownership of that. Katie says, your last comment sparked something in me. I know that when I like something, I really like it and I do it to the ninth degree. That includes shopping, wine, food, snacks. Maybe that's what I need to learn how to avoid what I overdo. You don't want to learn how to avoid to do. You want to understand why you're doing it. And you want to allow your feelings to be present to want to do that and to be with that desire. If your desire is to drink wine or to eat food, that's a feeling, that desire, right? You just want to learn how to be with that feeling and process it without doing it. That's how we change. That's how we like create new habits and make impact in our lives. So just I'm going to be kind of like dispersing and peppering in some like comments about how I've helped people learn how to feel and manage their emotions. And I think this is really important because I want you guys to see what's possible. Like I want you to feel hopeful that when you apply what I'm teaching you here in this class today, that you can feel better and you can take back control. So Wendy was a member of my coaching program. She said, help with stopping over drinking, weight loss, relationships, perfectionism, decluttering, COVID-19, raising children, career. There's nothing that's off limits. And I love that. Angela Mascenik, your coaching is affecting my entire life and helping me in so many ways. This is a life-changing program, and I'm so grateful for you. Listening to you coach all of us and being able to relate makes me feel normal and gives me the encouragement that I'm really doing this. Thank you. So, listen, I know like how you guys are feeling because I feel it too, first of all. And I was somebody that overdrank and overate for my whole adult life. Like for over 20 years, I overdrank and overate. I lost 55 pounds by learning how to feel my feelings and process that and changing how I thought about things and getting coaching and helping somebody recognize that my thoughts in my brain weren't the truth. They weren't facts, they were just sentences, and then I could change them. And when I did that, I felt better. And then when I felt better, I didn't do some of those things that I was doing before to make myself feel better, like eat and drink and yell at my husband. Okay. So just keep an open mind here. Just understand that like life coaching can instantly make a big impact in your life, and learning how to feel is the foundation of it all. So step number 1 to how to feel better is accept that you are in charge for how you feel. Okay. Own that. If you want to be sad when somebody dies, be sad. Like that would be a normal reaction, right? Nothing has gone wrong here. No matter what you are feeling, if you're feeling overwhelmed or sad or confused or flat, like nothing has gone wrong. You're just having some thoughts in your mind that are causing these feelings. And that's normal, right? It's normal based on how all the things that are happening in the world. It's okay. So nothing outside of you, wine, food, spouses, jobs, kids, events, our past, pandemics, can make you feel better or cause your feelings. That's just rule number one. Okay? You have the power to decide how you want to feel always. I really want you guys to pay attention to that. Okay? It's not like you're just at the effect of what's happening in the world or what's happening in your life, and you're just like, okay, I wake up, I'm just going to sort of like take you through a day. Wake up, you might feel okay, right? Start your day, and then you get like an email from somebody that you're working with, and you get pissed off. And then you deal with that, and then maybe you have lunch and you get a text from one of your kids or something, and then you get scared, right? And then maybe you get home from work and the house is chaotic and your husband's not doing what you want him to do, and you just feel overwhelmed. You don't have to just go through your day and let this stuff happen. Like your feelings just happen without you having control over them. You 100% have control over them by how you think. Okay. And when you own that, you can change how you feel and how you think about things. It's amazing. And nothing else has to change outside of you. You can decide that you won't get pissed off by the email. You can decide that you don't want to be overwhelmed when you come home from work. All of that is possible. So again, all feelings are normal. The human experience is supposed to be 50-50. 50% awful and 50% amazing. And you can find this to be true if you really look at your life, right? So if you have kids, within minutes, you're filled with so much love you could explode, right? And then 10 minutes later, so much anger, so much frustration, right? That's 50-50. In your relationships, you don't just feel love like for your spouse or even for your kids, right? All the time. There's a rainbow of emotions. There's love and sadness and happiness and joy and loneliness, right? At work, right? You have fulfillment, like this job is amazing. And then sometimes you're bored. Sometimes you're excited. Sometimes you get annoyed, right? So there's a rainbow of emotions in every area of our lives, even with ourselves. Sometimes we can feel really happy about what we're doing. Sometimes we can feel really sad. Sometimes we can feel frustrated that we're like, can't figure something out, or we feel love and we feel proud or accomplished in the things that we do. Sometimes we feel anxious or mad at ourselves. All of this is normal. So I really want you guys all to like just take a deep breath right now and relax. Just tell yourself, I'm okay. This is normal. You are okay no matter what is happening. I promise you, even if you're suffering right now, you are okay. Nothing has gone wrong. Yeah, and yes, Wend, I am sending this is being recorded, so you guys will all get the replay. Hi, Corey, thank you. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions about what that, okay? So your feelings are normal. You are in charge of how you're feeling. Nothing outside of you can cause your feelings, right? If you think about it, it's like, if you think about the pandemic, and if you haven't been affected by the pandemic personally, like you haven't gotten COVID, right? But we still feel anxious and worried about it. We're safe right here, sitting in our seats, right? Like you're breathing, you're alive, you're plugged into a webinar. You have everything that you need right now. You are okay. You have thoughts about the pandemic that are causing your feelings. The pandemic is not here in you, right? You have thoughts about it that cause your feelings. It can't cause that for you. You have to have sentences in your brain going and going to feel what you're feeling. It's okay. We can fix that. Kathy says, the problem is I am feeling my feelings. Anger, not feeling loved, helplessness. I do feel them. That is why I look to numb and distract me, to avoid those feelings. To avoid those feelings. Last night I spent an hour watching painting on Facebook, and guess what? I zoned out and didn't drink. Yeah, so like Kathy, what you're doing is you're noticing your feelings. You aren't processing them. Noticing your feelings is 100% different. Like you're like, I am angry. I notice that I'm angry. I feel the anger, right? And that anger is it's driving you to go do something. Processing and feeling your feelings is different than just noticing them. Okay, we're going to go through an exercise in the class. I'm going to show you the difference. Right, so you do feel them, right? Like you think that you're feeling them, but the difference in what I'm talking about, feeling your feelings, you notice when you're mad, you notice when you're frustrated, and then you notice like probably a quick vibration in your body, maybe it feels hot or uncomfortable, and then that drives your action to go do something to escape that feeling. What I'm suggesting you do is you pause there and you go into your body and you process that feeling. You're willing to be with it and understand it and let it be there without letting it drive your actions. That's where your power comes in. So we've been sold on this idea that the feelings we don't like are bad, okay? And we judge ourselves for our feelings. And we think we don't want to feel this way. And we try to escape and get rid of our negative feelings. And when we do this, though, we cause more problems and we feel worse when we resist our feelings. Okay, so even if like a lot of people like they want to stop over drinking, I'm like, okay, you got to feel your feelings, all right? And we're like, okay, I'm feeling it. I want to drink. I'm not going to drink. And then they go do something else, or they think they need to stay busy and do these other things so that they don't, that's not feeling it. That is avoiding. You want to feel your feelings, process them through. All right. So when you do that, you miss an opportunity to learn something, and your feelings, it's like they need to flow through you. Like they need to be processed. If you avoid them and go do something else, they're still there waiting for you. They're just going to pop up in another flavor the next day. You might feel dissatisfied. You might feel like if you end up drinking the next day, they're going to come back in shame and regret and dissatisfaction with what you did the night before. It's just going to show up in a different way, and it's going to be like a double compound now. So not only did you not address the feeling that you avoided, now you've got shame and regret on top of it the next day because it wasn't addressed properly. Okay? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a group exercise, and what we're going to do is we're going to identify one feeling that you've been having lately. Okay? Edie. Sorry. We're going to address one feeling that you're having lately. Okay? So just like pick one of the most painful ones that you've been having recently. Okay? Just name it. And then I want you to think about why you feel this way. What's the first thought that comes up in your brain why you feel this way? Okay? And I kind of want you to get into it right now. Like feel it for a second. Like think about why you're feeling this way and notice how you feel. Okay? And I want you to take a deep breath and close your eyes and notice where you feel it in your body. So for me, I'm feeling a little excitement because I'm performing right now, like I'm on point, and I feel a little bit of like tightness in my chest. I feel like my shoulders want to lift up. And I want you to breathe into that place in your body that you identify where you feel this emotion. And just breathe into it and relax into it. Don't think about why you're feeling it anymore. You want to go into your body and you want to notice where that feeling is sitting in you and breathe into it. Whenever your mind tries to wonder and think, bring it back. Nope, I'm breathing into this place in my body. And take a deep cleansing breath and notice how it feels. Does it feel tight? Is it hard? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it moving? Or is there like a block there? Describe in your mind how it feels, what it looks like. And as you're doing that, just take big cleansing breaths and relax into that feeling. And allow it some space to be there. Try to use your breath to like put a little balloon around it. And say, I want to feel this. I want to give this some space. And just notice if it's shifted or changed at all since you started. Has it lightened up? Has it melted a little bit? Has it moved? Keep your eyes closed. Take another big, deep cleansing breath. And really notice how this feeling feels different than maybe it did when you first started. And stay with me. If this feeling needed to say something to you, what do you think it would say? and listen. All right, take another big deep breath and come back to me. Open your eyes and tell me what that was like in the Q&A. What did you notice? Describe the feeling, name the feeling that you worked on, describe how it felt in your body, and then if it had anything to say, I'd like to know that. So type that in the Q&A. Okay, so you guys are typing that in. I'm just going to read some of the things. Saskia, I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry if I don't say it right, but you said you felt anxiety. You felt it in your shoulders, in your stomach, your gut, your core. Anxiety, Allison. Now you feel lighter. Ooh, Monique, recognizing, realizing, release, last thought, stop being so hard on yourself. Anonymous, grief, you felt it in your chest on the left side. It said, let it go. Raquel said, feeling was anxiety, felt like a big ball of fire in my gut. As I felt it, started to decrease and become a small ball without any fire. Saskia says, I feel lightheaded. Lexi said, dealing with not being enough, sad about it. I felt it in my chest. I didn't feel it go away, but it told me it's okay. Kelly says, stress, felt it in my shoulders. It's okay, and you feel more relaxed now. Patty says, throat feeling like it was closing and a nervous chest. Relaxed and let it open and a sense of freedom now. Amazing, you guys. So this is how we process. This is how we feel better in the moment. Okay, this is what you do. That's it. Like, it's not complicated. You notice how you feel. You go into your body, you name and locate that feeling. You breathe and you focus in on it. You give it some space to be there. You don't fight it. You don't resist it. You don't say, I wish I didn't feel this way. You shut off your brain about why you're feeling that way. And you just focus on those vibrations in your body. And as you're describing them, you breathe and process, and you breathe and process. And from what most of you guys told me, you feel better, right? You feel lighter. You feel more open. You know that you're okay. Like, you are just experiencing a vibration in your body. That's it. Nothing has gone wrong. That is the worst of it. That's the worst that it can be, is a vibration in your body. And so often, every time I coach somebody or we work on this in a more intimate level, it's like they're scared of that, right? They don't want to feel overwhelmed. They don't want to feel anxious. They don't want to feel sadness. And then I ask, why? It's nothing more than a vibration. That is not going to hurt you. What hurts us is closing off to that and resisting it and letting it drive actions of drinking and eating and buffering and yelling and hiding. That is what hurts us, right? And then those feelings don't get processed and we miss hearing something very impactful like, you're going to be okay. You need to let it go. That is what we need to hear from ourselves. You need to learn how to tune into you to find the answers and stop looking outside of you for things to help you feel better. Promise. All right. So why we do what we do, okay? I've alluded to this a little bit, but humans are driven into action by how they feel. This is just human behavior. We are motivated to seek pleasure and avoid pain. We have this primitive operating system. It's called the motivational triad, okay? And I've pictured it here. Seek pleasure, avoid pain, and save energy. We all have this primitive processing system running at all times. So when we experience emotional pain, our brain's like, ooh, we don't like that, right? We need to get out of that. So I'm going to motivate you to go feel better, right? And if you drink or if you eat or if you get on Facebook or if you shop or go need to do things outside of you to do that, then you're training your brain to do those things in the future when you have that pain again. Then we develop a habit after we do it over and over and over again. We teach ourselves that's how we feel better, okay? So when we don't feel good emotionally, it drives that behavior that we think will help us feel better. But what happens is it doesn't work, right? And that's where we stay stuck. Then we need more wine and we need more food. We need more money. We need our husbands to do all this stuff, right? We just keep needing more of these things. And then what happens is finally we just get so frustrated with everything and we feel stuck and overwhelmed and all the stuff because it doesn't work. What works is learning how to feel and process your feelings. Okay? So learning how to feel better now without waiting on things to change. I gave you guys a small taste of that, right? You can feel better. You have that power within you to feel better now. And I help you teach yourself how to feel better on purpose, like how to generate feelings. That's the next layer of it, is how to generate feelings that you want to feel after you process those ones that you're currently with. Okay. And then when you do that, those feelings that when you feel good will direct you in the actions that you want to take. And coaching will help you see how your thinking is creating your feelings and what you are doing in response to those feelings. That's where the other side of the work comes in. And when you can change the way you think and learn how to feel, you'll move forward in the best way possible. So I asked for some feedback about how I help my clients feel better. And Stephanie wrote, learning how to feel my feelings has absolutely changed my life. I was the type of woman that would hold on to my negative feelings until I would explode. I was that way too. And that explosion was usually towards my husband or kids, even if it had nothing to do with them. This process has helped me recognize what I am feeling, analyze it, process it, and look at it objectively and work through it. And I always feel so much better afterwards. I don't take things out on my husband and kids anymore. I feel my feelings. If my feelings had anything to do with it, I'm able to calmly and lovingly talk to them without judgment. It's beautiful. So when you do this and you take ownership of your feelings, the people around you benefit too. Like I can't tell you how many times I hear from husbands and spouses that say, wow, you're just so much more calmer. You're so much more nicer to be around. It helps when you do this work for you, the people around you get to benefit. Now let's just want to kind of go back and read some of these comments. Anxiety all over my body. I'm not enough was the thought. I felt in my shoulders, feeling some relief. It said, you are enough. Kathy says, it was a heavy black brick weighing down the left side of my chest. It was ugly and heavy. I surrounded it with a soft blanket. I took breaths and the heaviness lifted. Susan says, I feel anger in my chest like a black box. It was a heavy feeling in my chest towards my throat. When I take a deep breath, it feels better, but I haven't gotten it to talk back to me yet. I'll keep trying. Yeah, sometimes you just need to be with it, on your own without being on technology and having somebody guide you through it, to give yourself a little bit of space there, but just keep working on it. Susan P says, how do I find the right words to express my feelings? You just say how you feel, describe it. Describe what it feels like. Oh, I follow Brene Brown, and one of the things I really have learned from her is she's a researcher on emotions. So if you guys really want to go take this work to the next level, she's got amazing books and a podcast. But she said, when you're trying to express how you feel to somebody, like say you're in an argument with somebody, or maybe there's a conflict, you say, the story I'm telling myself is this. So, or I like to say, what I'm telling myself in my brain is this. So it's it takes the ownership on you and not so much on the other person or the thing that you need to express. I'm feeling this and I think it's because of this, but own that, right? So the story I'm telling myself in my head, my brain is telling me these thoughts, those kind of things, just will bring it down a notch. Brene Brown, Brene Brown, Brown. Okay, so now we're going to do another exercise. I'm going to check the time. You're doing good. So the next part of this is choosing the feeling you want to feel. Okay. So what would you need to think right now? Come back to me. Come back to me. Don't be researching Brene Brown. Come back to me. Focus. What would you need to think to feel peace, love, connection, acceptance, compassion, joy, motivation? Think about this for a second. Give yourself a minute. Decide what you'd like to feel right now. Okay, make that decision. Don't think about it too much. I want to feel love. I want to feel self-love for me right now. That's been something I've been working on. Okay, I don't want to feel disgust with myself. I don't want to feel loathing towards myself. I want to feel love. Love feels amazing, right? So I'm going to choose love to feel for myself. So what do I need to think to feel self-love? I want to think I'm worthy. It feels really good. No matter what, like I'm worth it. Okay, so I want you to find that sentence in your brain that you want to think that will match that emotion you want to feel. Okay, so now I want you all to close your eyes and go into your body again and think that thought and feel that feeling. Go into your body, take a deep breath, think the thought, I'm good enough, I'm worthy, I'm okay. How do you feel? I feel this like openness in my chest. I feel like a little bit jittery in my face and down my arms, like a lightness, like an energy. It feels peaceful, like kind of feels like a blanket, but it's like a nice hug. I feel warmth. It feels good. So just breathe and notice and imprint that feeling in your body. Okay, come back to me. Take a deep breath. Notice how you feel right now. And share in the Q&A the feeling that you wanted to generate and the thought that you had that helped you get into it, and describe that feeling to me how I described it to you in the Q&A. John says, peace. I feel light and energized. Irene. Open. I am sufficient. Saskia says, I'm sufficient, almost freeing. Need to keep working on it though. Yes. Steph says, I wanted to feel content. My thought is everything is the way it's supposed to be, and I feel lighter now. So good. Stacy, I want to feel confidence and peace. My shoulders let go. I feel lighter. Jennifer says, I want to feel that I can restart my life. I'm amazing and that I can find joy again. I struggle to focus on that because I feel like I can't forgive myself. I just feel so sad and so crying. So, Jennifer, if that happens, or if that happened to any of you guys, go in and process that feeling. If you guys do this on your own after this call and you try to generate some positive feelings, you just need to do a little bit more processing of the negative one work first. Okay? That's what I would recommend. Fully process that feeling out, really listen to what it has to say, and then maybe tomorrow try to generate the thoughts and a new feeling that you want to feel. Sometimes doing it back to back like that doesn't work, especially if there's some deeper stuff there. So just keep trying, okay? And just like keep telling yourself you're okay. That's a thought. Like when you believe that you're okay, like I think that first exercise, when you process and you feel safe in your chair, you're noticing it's just nothing more than a different combination of a vibration in your body, you're okay. Like that's the truth, right? And you can believe that. And when you think I'm okay, it's like peace, settling, calming, safety, right? So just maybe keep going back to that thought and just keep exploring it when you feel like you need to. Shannon says, my brain is still too busy. I get distracted, but when I do find space, I feel so uncluttered. Love this idea of unjunking my thoughts. Yes. To do this, we got to turn off our brains, right? When you're processing your feelings, you don't want to be thinking about things. You want to be thinking about how you feel in your body. It gives your brain a break. It gives you that relief and that space that we need to shut that off for a minute and go into your body and process that feeling. Anonymous says, kindness, felt good to be quiet and listen to myself letting go. Sally says, more relax. I chose to open my chest and release. Elizabeth says, motivation, feel like exercise, do things I have left aside. That's what I felt like, Elizabeth. Like when I was feeling like self-love, I'm like, I want to go act. I want to be active. Like I felt that energy in me to like go do something really good. You guys are amazing. Saskia, easier said than done. Listen, this is not like an overnight thing, right? Like I'm giving you guys some tools to practice, but for sure, like you're not going to solve it all in an hour. Like you guys need to commit to like doing this for yourselves when you notice that your feelings are happening. Instead, like pausing before you're running to go get the bag of chips or the bottle of wine or to yell at your husband or to post on Facebook or numb out in some way, process and feel, and just start practicing that. Make that your automatic response versus letting it drive behaviors that you don't really want to do. So the first step is just acknowledging that you're having a feeling. Pause and breathe and process. And then decide, like after you've processed that and you're not feeling it so intensely anymore, then decide what you want to do. But don't let your feelings drive those automatic actions anymore. That's where you want to interrupt that process and stop that cycle that we're in right now. All right. So this is the thing. It's like we have so many options, even with everything that's going on in the world, right? Like we really do have a lot more control than we think we do. So what do you guys want to do? Like if you were to feel better, like what would you want to do? Declutter, read, exercise, paint, write a book, start a business, garden, exercise, go for a walk, join my coaching program, call a friend. Like what is it that you actually want to be doing? So I want you guys to type that in the Q&A. Like, what do you want to do? Like, if for the next 2 or 3 months, like, what are some things that you actually want to do that you can do right now? I would love to know that. All right. So, how I help you guys is I'm going to help you guys understand what your feelings are, and I'm going to coach you on how you're thinking that generated those feelings in the first place. Okay. So this is another testimony from my client, Catherine. Catherine had been over drinking for 20 plus years, very successful, older lady who ran her own business, and we worked together. And she wrote, with Angela's help, I learned to journal, to honor my commitments to myself, to replace my thoughts with intentional thoughts, and to feel. Allow my feelings. It really has been a life-altering experience. I only wish I had made this discovery when I was younger. But nonetheless, I've made changes and continue to grow daily. I recommend Angela's coaching, regardless of your area of growth you want to achieve. She will help you get there. She is fully vested to help her clients live the best life. And I got to say that is the truth, because I know the struggle that a lot of you guys are in right now. I know that very intimately because I lived it for most of my adult life. And now I know the other side of that. And my mission is to help you bridge over here and like come over here and live the life that you want to live. It's amazing. It's freeing. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But when you're willing to feel that and really process that, there's nothing you can't do. You take bigger risks in your life. If you're willing to feel pain, emotional pain, and process that through, then you're going to be willing to feel fear and go ask for that raise or have an uncomfortable conversation with somebody or go to a social situation and not drink. When you're brave and you show up and you know that there's no feeling that you can't handle, we do bigger things in our life. And that's what makes our life interesting. That's what makes us feel fulfilled when we're trying new things and figuring things out and going bigger. That's why I think sometimes we get stuck at a certain place in our lives. We reach a certain age, like we've, went to college, gotten married, bought the house, have the job, right? Like we kind of reach this peak And then we're like, now what? And then we get into this sort of like stuck place where we're numbing and eating to find those little hits of joy. It's because we're not reaching for more and having goals and going after our dreams and still taking risks. We did that when we were younger. Like we were more willing to go out there. But now, like for some reason, we just don't because I think it's easier to drink like that primitive, process that we have. It's like we don't want to spend too much energy. We don't want to feel uncomfortable. So it's easier to drink or eat or scroll or stay in the same place than it is to go bigger in your life, right? You want to choose the uncomfortable path. You want to choose to feel those feelings on purpose and be uncomfortable so that you can take bigger risks. I promise you that's where the fun is. All right, so I'm going to invite you guys to join me in my Feel Better Now program. It's a 5-week program, but listen, if you struggle with any of the things that I've talked about at the beginning of this class, you might want to consider joining me for a 5-week program right now and learn how you can feel better no matter what is going on in the world. This is just some before and after pictures of me when I learned how to feel my feelings, even the uncomfortable ones, and I learned how to be with the desire to drink and felt that and processed that and welcomed that. My entire life changed. So currently, you might be a good candidate for this program. Currently, if you're feeling on the edge due to all the big circumstances in the world, you don't feel good. You might feel flat or unmotivated or worried or scared or anxious or bored. And you struggle with honoring commitments to yourself. You want to do more at home, in your community, eat less, drink less, be more present with your family. And you often are searching for things to help you feel better. So if you guys identify with this stuff, you're probably a good fit for the program. So the Feel Better Now program is a 5-week online course plus live coaching with me. And there's 5 modules within the program released every week of the 5 weeks. So module 1 is what are feelings, how they are generated, some common myths. So what happens is every week of the program, you're going to get an email from me and a workbook for that week and some videos to watch. And you're going to have a place to apply what I'm teaching you in the workbook and to think about things, and you're going to learn how to process your feelings more. Okay, so every week you get those materials. Module 2 is to how specific feelings that you have for you personally drive actions in your life. Module 3 is how to process and feel your feelings. Module 4 is generating the feelings that you want to feel. And then module 5 is using your feelings to accomplish your goals. So it's basically taking you where you are now. And by the end of the 5 weeks, you will feel empowered to go after whatever it is that you want to go after next. And you will feel confident that you can do that by experiencing your feelings. So each of the 5 weeks also, you're going to have an opportunity to get live coaching by me on any topic. So in addition to the workbook and the videos that you get, we're going to have an hour or so long live coaching calls in a very similar format to this, where I'll bring you on individually and coach you on your specific issue. And I can coach you on any topic, okay? Most of the time, like I said, like our feelings are generated by how we think about ourselves, our relationships, our work, what's happening in the world, okay? So I can help you see how your thoughts about those areas in your life are generating your feelings, and I can coach you to help you think about it differently so that you feel better and that you're driven to take the actions that you want to take. And all of these live coaching calls are going to be recorded and uploaded to a members only website, and you're going to have access to them for as long as the program exists. So you can watch them on replay. If you can't attend all the live calls, you have them to watch at a time that's convenient for you. So just to sort of recap what is in the Feel Better Now program, all 5 modules of how to feel. There's a weekly email, a workbook, and a short video tutorial that you'll get every week inside the program, okay? And then you get 5 60-minute live workshop/coaching calls with me between October 5th and November 5th, okay? And then you get live coaching during the workshop. And if you decide to join me in my longer coaching program after this, I'm providing everybody that signs up for this program to get a $300 discount to join my longer Stop Over Drinking program. But most importantly, you're going to get the skill set of how to feel your feelings and generate the feelings that you want to have no matter what situation you're in, okay? And then you're going to learn how to use your feelings to accomplish any goal that you have, all right? So again, like the big thing, those are the details of the program, but what you will get, like what you'll get upon completion of this program is the permanent skill of learning how to feel better in any situation that you're in. And when you feel good, you do the things that create the impact you want to have in your life. right? You guys right now aren't feeling the best, and you're noticing you're not doing the things that you want to do, right? And you know, when you feel good, you feel inclined to go do the things that you want to do. You're going to have the skill to process those emotions, just not notice them, but to actually process and feel them and not respond to them. You're going to save money on buying things like excess alcohol and food and online shopping and, all these other things that make us feel better. And the confidence that you are actually in more control than you think you are. So this is what you're going to get at the end of it. So the investment for this 5-week program is $497. And for today on this live call in the next 24 hours, there's some bonuses I want to offer you. We don't start until October 4th, so there's some time here, and I want to give you some resources to kind of like get you going before the class starts. So if you sign up between now and the next 24 hours, you're going to get this 30-day workbook called How to Feel. This is the exact same workbook that I provide my clients in my longer 6-month coaching program. This is a workbook that you have tools that apply every single day, that you write and you acknowledge your feelings. You can name them and understand what you do when you feel this way, and it will get you through until the class starts. And you're going to get an audio recording of me, like a guided sort of meditation of me helping you process and be with those feelings, similar to what we did on the call today, but it's a little MP3 audio file that you press play, and I guide you through processing your feelings.
Hope you enjoyed the How to Feel class. Apply what I taught you there. Guide yourself through feeling and processing your emotions. Remember, you want to get out of your head and into your body. And if you want to take this work to the next level and have me help you do this so you can start feeling better right away, join the Feel Better Now program. It will be a gift to yourself that you can guarantee that you can be in control of how you feel over the next month or so, and you'll have a skill set to use for the rest of your life, that no matter what happens in the world or what happens in your life, you will have the skills to manage it. I love you all so much. Click the link in the show notes to go over to the website, check out the course, sign up, and I'll hopefully see you guys next week in the program. Bye for now.